Well, hello there. Thank you for coming. This is my first tech klatch. I really want to change that name, but I'll get to that later. Hopefully, all the tech is working. This is basically going to be kind of a run through. So it's Saturday morning. I know people have things to do, people have places to be, lives to live, but let's take just a moment out of your day just to learn maybe something a little bit about tech. And I didn't get any questions about problems that people were having, but hopefully that will come in time. And for today, I just want to do a little bit of an introduction to a Canva brand kit. Uh, as these tech clatches go on, I want to build a website in Canva, and I want to show you how you can use a lovely email service provider called Flowdesk that makes things super easy, super inexpensive, and you're going to see just how easy it is. So for today, we're going to transform your brand vision into visual reality. So you might be asking, what is a Canva brand kit? I'm sure you know. A brand kit is a set of assets and guidelines that ensure your business's visual identity stays consistent across all platforms and communications. Brand kit includes logos, color palettes, fonts, and brand voice. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that the brand voice is one of the most important aspects of a brand kit. Once you have your brand voice, that's how you're going to appear on any platform to your ICA, your ideal customer avatar, and you want them to know that you're seeing them. Let's put it that way. Now, the fabulous Maya Angelou once said, people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. Preach, sister. Yes, yes, yes. So, I know that most everyone is using AI. Some people are using ChatGPT, they might be using Claude or Google Gemini. And I found this AI, a part of Google. It's called Notebook LM. And the reason I like it so much is because it actually gives you notebooks, and I can just organize it so much better than I can in ChatGPT. So I created a brand brain. And if you are using AI, I'm sure you've heard of the brand brain. That's all your collateral, any assets you have, marketing assets, how you train the AI to know who you are, to know what your voice is, and to know what your goals are. So I created this, and you can put, I think, 50 documents up in here. I got a video there as well, but I put things in like I had a document about me and my business. Press release was an exercise. My unique value proposition, my brand voice and elevator pitch. I got my website copy, my LinkedIn bio. Just goes pretty much on and on and on. Anything that's talking about me and my business. And I will let you know, I'm going to show you something in a minute. This is why I like Notebook LM. For the organization number one, you can also go up here and discover. You can tell it to go find you sources. Everything is sourced and footnoted and all that good stuff. But this was something that I hadn't intended on seeing, and it really gave me a chuckle. Over here under Studio, you can do an audio overview, which is actually a podcast. It will give you a video overview, which is actually a slide deck. You can do mind maps, reports, flashcards, quizzes. Now, this is if you were just, doing some research, which this would be great for. But the unique little thing that I want to show you right now, and it just blew my mind.
Welcome, curious minds, to another deep dive.
Hello.
Today, we're exploring the entrepreneurial journey of Ramona Nichols. She founded Inspired Creative Studio.
Right, also known as your tech detective.
Exactly. And her whole mission is really about empowering female course creators, helping.
Isn't that wild? It goes on for about 10, 15 minutes. But with all that data that I supplied it, it was able to come back with this pretty logical and very detailed podcast between these two AI man women. And it just distilled everything. It organized everything. And I was just surprised that they connected from when I was doing manual drafting way back 300 years ago to what I'm doing today. And I was like, pretty phenomenal, right? So if you haven't seen Notebook LM, go over and do yourself a favor. So what we're going to do, I'm going to go over here and I am going to show you, we're going to get started in Canva now. So hold on. Okay, so here we are. We're done with the brand brain. Okay, so we want to do a Canva brand kit. And if you're using Canva, you might already have this, but it makes things consistent across all your designs and everything is at the ready for you. You don't have to go searching for your logo or, think about what the heck was that, deep burgundy, what was the hex number? It's right here and it'll be available to you in any of your designs. So starting off, you're going to, I will show you that if you have Canva Pro, you will be able to utilize multiple brand kits, and they're completely separate. And I am going to show you mine. I did this a very long time ago, and when I first got Pro, so I really need to update it a lot actually. But these still are my brand colors. Basically, I'm kind of wondering what that brown and that blue, I'm not sure, but like I said, this is probably 4 or 5 years ago that I did this. But that's basically my my brand colors. You're able to go down. Now I'm going to show you, if you do not have your brand colors, set in stone, not to worry, because Canva and the internet give you a lot of choices about colors. Now here is Canva gives you a little color palette generator, and you can upload an image that you might have on your computer, you may have found on your phone, but you can also try their demo images. I'll go through here. I am finding that the demo images come out pretty dark, and I mean, you'd really have to cycle through, right, to get something, but they do seem to be fairly dark. Now, if you can't find anything straight away, you don't have an image, well, Canva gives you a lot of color palettes to choose from, and trust me, those go on and on and on for a pretty long time. And if you're not satisfied with Canva's palettes, you can always go over to the Mac Daddy OG Original Gangsta over here to Adobe Color. And this thing has been around for frickin' ever. And it allows you to do just about everything. I mean, it allows you to do everything that you can do with color. You can just play over here. It is just a wonderful little thing. You can actually go down a very deep rabbit hole with Adobe Color, so I won't bore you with that. But getting a little off topic here, but I want to show you something that this is something that, I don't always feel that AI is, good for us. I'm not sure where we're going, but there are things that, it is useful. So I have been playing with a AI called Cascade, and they have an app builder. Okay, so that wasn't what you're supposed to see. You're supposed to, okay, we're going to start from the beginning, okay? Hey, that's where we were. Okay, discover your perfect brand colors. Now, just preface this. I worked with the AI to develop this. I wanted to do a brand color generator. And I just prompted. There's no code. It did the code. I have to stop trying to humanize the AIs, but sometimes I slip. This was a 2-day collaboration, and it was a back and forth and back and forth, and errors upon errors upon errors, and not doing what I was really wanted to. So it was fun. It was happy. It was a good time that it finally worked. So here we go. This is how this works. I'm going to use this as a lead magnet, and I know it's off topic, but I'm so proud that I was able to get this thing to work. That I got to show somebody. So it needs a little finessing, and you'll see in a minute. So you go through here. What's your brand style? Okay, I'm going to go timeless. And these are standard, colors evoke feelings and they evoke emotions. And there is a psychological kind of standard that has been made by I don't know who, but it's out there. And you go here, you ask it what is, I'm going to say it's health is my industry. And let's say parents, just real quick, because I don't want to type anything else, is my target audience. And of course, you have to give up your first name and your email in order to see your palettes. And I'm just going to use a fake email here. It really is, it actually made a Google Sheet for me that's grabbing all these emails. We tried to put it over to Flowdesk, but that was a no-go. We couldn't make it, so we did the easy thing. So here's palettes. Based on your preferences for a classic and timeless brand in health, here are 5 custom color palettes designed just for you. And I like the presentation. I like the user notes. It gives you a little explanation. Deep navy anchors trust, while sky blue adds approachability. Perfect for professional services, wanting to feel reliable and modern. Then you come down and you got some vibrant energy, another explanation. Natural growth, of course. Greens is always, that's kind of used a lot in the wellness industry, health, yoga, etc., etc. And finally, you got these 2 down here. You can download a pretty nicely formatted PDF for your records, and also grab these hex numbers. So that hex numbers, I hope everyone knows what a hex number is, but that's the associated color number of the color that you can use on the web. And I probably didn't explain that very well, but that's basically what they are. I think everybody knows what a hex color is. So if not, just say something in the chat and I'll explain a little bit better. But anyway, so I thought this was really, really great until I was testing it last night. And fact of the matter is that every palette is the same. Every result is the same. It's the serene confidence. It's a little bit of a, we need refinement. We need to refine it. So I'm going to go back to the AI and I'm going to feed the AI some of this. I'm going to go back to my get off camera. So Canva just gives you so much. So Canva has this thing about color meanings and symbolism. Well, okay. And then they just go, as they usually do, they go on and on and on. I'll give you whiplash if I keep on going. But look at this. You could read about pastel yellow. You go over here and it just goes into some serious detail. So what I am going to do, and you can wish me luck, whether it's going to work or not, I'm not going to go through here and go through every frickin' color here, but what I'm hoping is I'm hoping that the AI can interpret, if I give the AI the URLs, the email, the web addresses, I'm hoping it can get in here and interpret some of this. I know it can interpret the text, but I'm not sure it's going to be able to interpret this this graphic here. But that's what I did. That's what I have been working on for the last 2 days, and I'm real proud. It's almost there. And hey, that's AI for you, yeah? Yeah? So let's go back to, we got our colors, and you got all kinds of options for colors. Let's go back, let's go to the fonts. Now you can, upload your fonts. You can, let's see where we're at. We're way back here, right? Right. So now we're on fonts. So what you're going to do, you're not going to upload. Did I say upload? I'm sorry. Canva has a massive amount of fonts in its application. And they say, I thought they were all proprietary, but they do say that they, go out and they utilize Google Fonts and a lot of other foundries. But I have never matched a Google font to a Canva font. So I was surprised to read that. I think they're all proprietary, but they're decent fonts. They're really good. So you've got this, basically, you'd have a title, you're going to have a subtitle. You just, click on this, drop down. I always like to have some serif versus non-serif. Serif is these little ligatures. We could have a whole session on fonts and typography if we wanted to, and if anybody was interested, but I'm not sure anybody's interested. So you come over here and you decide on what fonts you want to use. And when you standardize these fonts, they're going to be available so that when you create something new, you can just rely on the fonts that you have determined on your brand kit. So we come down, you start with the title, subtitle, heading, subheading. And you might say, why do they break that out? Why do you have a title and a heading? And I thought, I don't know. Why do they do that? Well, the title and subtitle would probably be for something like an ebook or a PDF that you're creating, something you might even want to print something, but that's where titles and subtitles belong to like books, ebooks nowadays. Heading and subheading are more the nomenclature of the web. This would be a web page. On a web page, you would have your top, biggest text, basically, would be your heading. And then Google and all the search engines come through. And I'm not going to go into the H1s and the H2s. If anybody wants to have a session on that would take up a whole session. But basically, these are what you would use for your websites when you're creating your website. You can have an accent, then your body, quote, and caption. So that's plenty of different fonts. And best practice would be, don't use more than, I would say 3. 2 is fine. I like to use 2 basically. Like I would have, I love the seasons, and that is basically what you would call a serif. and that's a font that has little ligatures. I call them legs, okay? And versus a sans serif without the legs, the ligatures. Now, I would use like a Poppins, but I like to mix a serif as the big heading and then use a sans serif for my subheadings. And I generally will even keep, like I'm using Poppins here. Well, for the body, I'm going to use Poppins as well. And I think everything else, like I say, I did this years and years ago. So this is not matching what I actually use. Because if I was going to use another serif, I would go back to the season, so it would be consistent. And then this is just an accent. You like the little brush on particular headings. You can just add the accent font, which is quite popular, at least in my ICA. My ideal customer avatar likes these things. So now we have our fonts. And so you might be saying, I've got a blank on fonts. Well, let's go over here. Canva has got you covered. We don't want to go there. Okay, so this guy, he's called Design Hub. I think his name's Sam. He has this is just so organized, and I love it. I would suggest I will put this in the chat just to make sure you can see it. But you come down here. The unique thing about this is it's a lead magnet. You got to give your name and email, of course, but for 1,500 plus. I thought that when you got it, it was just going to be a PDF. And generally, I'm just going to lose PDFs in the depths of my Dropbox and Google Drive. However, I was so happily surprised that he made them Canva templates. So they go right into your Canva application. And I think the user experience is I'm very big on how things are displayed on the internet. And I just think this was so powerful. You got a part one and a part two. I brought up the part two, but they are I just love them. I mean, just go in here, find one that you like, make sure it's you go, okay, Chloe, copy it over to your design. Make sure you get the sizes the same, because there is a reason why he made the sizes what they are and the ratio between the heading and the subheadings and things like that. So that's called font pairing. And another absolute rabbit hole that you can go into. So what do we have over here? Okay, that's the same thing. That's the same thing over here. So going over here now, Canva does supply you with the ultimate in, if you want to know everything about Canva's ultimate guide to font combinations. Well, this one is a pretty meaty page right here, and it goes the anatomy of typography. Fonts versus typography, they are the same. Anyone that is like a serious graphic designer, a hoity-toity designer, they are going to use typography. But most everybody else uses fonts. I've never seen what the difference is, but I'm sure that a graphic designer would tell me immediately. And this stuff, the anatomy of typography, is nothing you would ever need. You don't need to know the cap height or the terminal or the baseline or the ascender or the what is this, the stem, the serifs, the ear. What is the ear? What is a bowl? You don't need to know that stuff. Just slide on down, and what Canva is doing, it's giving you a font pairing. This actually is simply all Okay, this is a non-serif, and then everything else is Libra Baskerville. And they give you like a real life example where you can use it to see if that's something that you would, really like. And this is, it goes on and on and on. So it's very helpful because you can see how something is actually going to look. But I just like this guy's over here because it's already in Canva. You don't have to go anywhere. So back to our brand kit. The only other thing that you would want to do is get your brand voice, and that would, wherever you have your brand voice, maybe you've got it written out, in a Google Drive or somewhere, and maybe you are going to use AI to help you. Like I said, I do like Notebook LM for gathering stuff up and distilling it a little better than how I would. And it will go back a moment to the brand brain. This, when you get all this stuff in here, you ask it to give you a summary. This is what you can use to train other AIs. So you don't want to have to upload everything over and over and over and over and over again with the AI. So you get a summary, and that helps train the AI. So that is, let's go back. Okay, so we got the brand voice. You're going to know what to do with that. The next things, you may want some photos. Early on, I did have some particular photos I wanted to use, but Canva does give you a lot of photos. They use a lot of different stock photo sites, and I think that when you're designing, you're just gonna, Canva has enough for you. They even have POC stock, which is people of color stock, and I really appreciate that. So I don't have to go out and look. I can just go right into POC stock. And you might have some particular graphics you want to upload, but again, I think Canva gives you enough, unless you have a certain particular graphic you need to use over and over again. As well with icons, Canva has icons. Charts, you may have a chart you want to use, but again, Canva has charts. So it's 11:29, 11:30, and that's how much I kind of timed this for. So somebody is here, but they haven't commented in the chat, so it's kind of hard for me to see what they're saying. If you're here, why don't you say hi, and we can get going. I can say hi. Okay, let me see. Anybody gonna say hi back? They're not, so maybe they're shy. But anyway, that's that. I mean, it's a half an hour. I don't think, if anybody, a lot of people were here and a lot of people were asking questions, I would use this time to do a Q&A and see what really is bothering people. And that's why I want to have this. I don't like klatch. I'm going to change that name, but I want this to be crowdsourced. I'm going to do it every Saturday morning, and they're going to be bite-sized pieces, delectable little tech pieces that are going to get you from A to B or B to C. And I want them to be things where you are just pulling your hair out. I don't want you to pull your hair out. Don't suffer in silence. So come here on Saturday, get a quick tip. And if you are suffering with total confusion and you're, lighting your hair on fire, just email me, DM me on Facebook. Don't be DM me on Instagram because I don't go over there. or email me. If you're on my email list, you can just shoot me an email or leave comment here in YouTube in this live. And we'll get this thing going. Next week, I believe I am going to talk about, I don't want to commit to it because I didn't put my list up, but the gist of this is to, let me see, I'm going to show you something a little bit. Okay, let's go somewhere. I've been using, I don't know what the algorithm, I don't know if it's just what they have, but all I get is minimalist now. This is where we're getting to. So this is a Canva. This is a Canva template that I took. I'm not going to publish it, but there we go. Okay, so this is a combination of a Canva template straight out of the box and the StoryBrand framework by Donald Miller. And I have found, I'm just in love with StoryBrand. That's how I'm building all my websites, all my marketing collateral, because it's tried and true, it's conversion oriented, and it makes the customer the hero. You are not the hero. People want to talk when they do their websites. They want to talk about themselves. People do not care. They do not care how many years you've been in business. They do not care how many people you have helped. They want to know if you can help them. So you got to go help your customers achieve their goals. These templates I'm going to make available as soon as I get them all straightened out. But they've got the prompts right there. Help your clients achieve their goal. What is your client's goal? Your clients want blank. We help them get it with insert a pain point they want to avoid. Now, I'll go into this on another live, but this is where we're headed. And as long as you keep this StoryBrand structure, you're going to be for sure to attract the people that you want to attract, that you need to attract, and also repel the people that you either don't want to help or can't help. So this is where we're going to go. And from there, what we're going to do is utilize Flowdesk. That's an email service provider. And we're going to hook up Flowdesk opt-in forms with a Canva website and get you started on growing your email list very quickly and very inexpensively. Let's minimum viable product. People want, if you're building a course, first of all, you got to grow your list, right? And okay, somebody, hi. I've got somebody here. Yay, yay, yay. Hey, this is my first time and I'm just happy to be here. But our goal is going to be to get you a mechanism, a vehicle to grow your email list as quickly and as easily as possible. I have found Canva and Flowdesk to be the absolute easiest, straightforward, and most importantly to my ICA, ideal customer avatar, beautiful. They like beauty. My ICA loves beauty. They love minimalism. But yeah, that's what they love. And I think the combination of Flowdesk and Canva, it can't be beat out of the gate if you're just starting out. Later on, at some point, when you get everything, when you validate your course idea or your content idea, which you should be doing, you shouldn't be creating things if you don't know if your audience, I'm just going to come back here, because I think we're done sharing the screen. Yeah, so don't create things that you don't know your ideal client or customer if you have not asked them what they want. And that's kind of the reason I'm doing this, because I want to understand exactly what female course creators and content creators need help with. And I want to create something that you don't need. I don't want to create a problem I don't want to create a solution that doesn't have a problem. Does that make sense? So let me see here. I understand why you should have. Okay, I'm going to look at the comments. I have comments. Covenant Marriage Prep. Hi there. They're saying, sure, love Canva, but haven't tried Flowdesk. Oh, you're going to love it. You're going to love it. And here's the thing. They've got unlimited contacts. They're getting rid of them, but until November 28th, you can get their unlimited contacts. So that's how I'd been sleeping on Canva, or I'm sorry, I've been sleeping on Flowdesk. I saw that it was beautiful, but I didn't think it was powerful. And I was wrong. I was wrong, as I so often are. And when I saw that they had unlimited, I'm like, I'll grab that, because everybody else is raising their prices and they're limiting how many contacts you can get. So I'm being personally optimistic to think that I'm going to get more than 500 contacts very quickly, which is the breaking point for MailChimp, which I was on. So maybe next week we'll just go straight into Canva. I'm sorry, I keep calling it Canva. Maybe we'll go into Flowdesk, show that, and see how easy it is. If you do, I should probably put an affiliate link in there. These massively technical things here for these things. I probably should have done that before, but I'll be better next week. Come back next week. Come back. Any questions? Any questions? Because I'm not going to keep you. I'm here. Let's make this like 30 minutes, 45 minutes. Because you guys you got stuff to do. It's Saturday. Sun's out, leaves are changing. You got to go out and enjoy some nature. So let me see. Okay, I think that's it. If nobody has any questions, let's just say goodbye. And I'm going to work very hard to make this better next week. But guess what? It's a wrap. That's my first one. And I'm pretty proud. And thank you so much for coming. Thank you. You guys have stayed to the end. I'm going to put an outro on, and I hope I know how to stop this thing so it doesn't keep recording. Take care, and I love everyone.